Good morning. I'm sitting over here at McDonald's, and I remember that the other day, I was sitting over here, and there was a protest, sort of like down on the street. But this summer, I'm thinking about, you know, maybe I'm gonna do something different for the Learning English podcast. Maybe that I'm gonna shift, the topics, some of the topics for the Learning English podcast into something I don't know, maybe more exciting, interesting, like technology, database. So yeah, so let's do that. That's gonna be our summer topics for the Learning English podcast: technology and database. What is technology? What exactly is the database, right? So for the next 10 weeks and 12 weeks, I try to do this one every 2 weeks, right? Let's talk about technology, and what exactly is a database, right? Technology is kind of like any application of scientific knowledge for practical purpose. Practical purpose involves like things you do by hand, manually, um, every day, every week, on a regular basis. And now you probably have automatic tools like a machine to sort of like do those stuff for you. Let's say that you used to wash dishes by hand, right? Maybe you squatting on the ground, or you probably do it on the sink, but still you do it by hand manually. Now we have a dishwasher machine. That's technology, right? They apply the application of some science to create a machine that do that stuff for you automatically. Or let's say you're washing clothes by hand, right? And you like dry your clothes, in the balcony or something, or in front of your house. Now we have a washing machine, right? And we have a dryer machine that can wash your clothes and dry your clothes. So those are technology. It's an application of science to make the machine to automate tasks that you do manually. And the last example is kind of like an email. Instead of like you writing a letters, and then you go to the post office and mail that letters to whoever you want to mail those letters to. And now you can tap it up on your laptop, or you can text it on your phone, and you can press the send button, and then that email gets sent to your friends. So that's a technology. We often heard people talk about database. What exactly is the database, right? Database is kind of like you know nowadays, every organization, whether it's a big organization or small organization, big company or small company, whether it's in private sector or public sector, government, city agency, like the DMV, the Social Security Administration, they all rely on information. Information is a critical component of any organization, whether they are big or small organization, they still rely on information to operate their business, to conduct any business transaction. They relied on information. Information is the backbone of any organization, of any government, of any city agency. Like you go to DMV, they look it up your information using your name, using your social security number, right? For example. So those the database, right? We have data, so we have to have a way to manage and access those data. It's called database. That's what database is all about, right? Information. Data become information when data are put together in a meaningful way, right? In a logical, cohesive way. That become information. It's kind of like you store data, but then when you actually collect all the data and you put them in a very meaningful way, that will give you the information. Let's say your date of birth is a data, right? And then based on your date of birth, people can sort of derive your age. How old are you? Is from your date of birth. Your age is the information, right? So the database is probably just like it's organized, a structured way of managing, organizing data records. You know, Another way for you to think of database is like a file cabinet, right? And think of the simplest file cabinets, the ones that has three drawers, right? The first drawer of that file cabinet is basically storing your name, you know, your first name, your last name, your date of birth, etc. Anything, your name. And the second drawer is storing the products that you buy in. Are you buying laptop? You buying your iPhone? You buying your phone case? You buying some, electronic devices? What products are you buying from? And the third drawer of that file cabinet is basically storing the store. Where are you buying it from? What store are you buying from? Are you buying from Best Buy? Are you buying those from Target? Are you buying them online on Amazon? So they store the information of the store that you buy it from. What's the name of the store? Best Buy? What is the address? What is the phone number? So in database, each drawer in the file cabinet represents a table, right? In Microsoft Office Suite, we have what do we have? We have Microsoft Word, we have PowerPoint that help people make presentation. We have Microsoft Excel, right, and Microsoft Access. Microsoft Excel helps with the structured data, but the one that closest to a true database in Microsoft Office Suite is the Microsoft Access, right? It's like, think of a database like a Microsoft Excel workbook. When you open the application, the Excel application, you can create as many worksheets, like worksheet 1, worksheet 2, worksheet 3. Each worksheet is represent a drawer, represent a tables, right? And they actually store in different types of data. And we have, once you have a database, we have to have some operation on the database. The 4 key operation when dealing and interacting with a database. The first one is you write the information. You save the data, you save information for future use. The second one is you retrieve the information. Once you store the record, you have to have a way to sort of like search and access those stored records. So you retrieve the information. The third one is update. You modify the system records. And the last one is delete, which is you remove the record when it's no longer needed, right? So those are the main 4 key operations when interacting with a database. You write the information, you retrieve the data information, you update the information, and you delete the information, right? If you want to be more technical in the world of database, I think this concept, this 4 key operation, I refer in database as CRUD. C-R-U-D. C like create, C like Charlie, like C like create, R like Romeo, like you retrieve the information, U like uniform, and D like Denmark, right? So those are, I think that's what they call in database CRUD, abbreviation. What else? And of course, let's say that when you have the database and all the operation that is capable of performing, you have to have a way to communicate, to talk, to instruct the database to do specific operation that you want at any given time, right? To communicate with the database, you have to use its own language, its specialized language, right? So that it understands. It's like it's kind of like a language specific to a country. If you travel to Germany, you speak German, to other people to see how they're doing, to greet them and all that. And if you happen to be in Japan, you use Japanese, right? To sort of like ask for direction, right? If you happen to be in Philippines, India or Bangladesh, then you could use English, right? Because English is kind of like one of the official language there. So you have to use its own language. when talking and communicating with the database, and it's called SQL. SQL stands for is abbreviation for structural query language, to basically tell the database what operation do you want to perform. Do you want to create a record? You want to retrieve the record? You want to update the information, or you want to delete the record? So you have to tell them in its own language that it can understand. So, you know what? To recap, database is kind of like a your digital file cabinet, so that is an organized way for you to store, retrieve, and manipulate information seamlessly, right? That's basically, it's just like the simplest file cabinet has 3 drawers, right? And then it actually has your name, what you buying, and who are you buying it from, who's selling those things. Now try to sort of like make it more complicated. Now the first table is a customer name, not just only you, but your sister, your mom, your dad, your uncles, buying those stuff, right? So now you actually have 2 person, 3 person, everybody in your family buying it, so that's going to be like by the customer's name. So think of, you started out anything that you want to learn, and think of the simplest form. That's it. That's just the introduction to the database, right? And that will be the topic that we'll be talking about, the database for the next 10 or 12 weeks in the summer. So stay tuned and probably pay attention to any links in the description in my YouTube videos. I will be posting some exercise, and maybe we can actually sort of like do some sandbox of making some installation of SQL Server. Let's see. It's gonna be fun. Have some fun. I'm gonna enjoy my exploring the city more, going to a lot of places outdoor, and at the same time we're gonna learn something together. Okay, so just stay tuned and pay attention to all the links that I put it in the description below, and I see you soon, and let's learn something great together. Bye. Cheers. Bye.